Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm thrilled that you're joining today, whether on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. Okay, today we are going to talk coffee. So I guess you could say we're going to have coffee talk. I am going to share with you some things that Zane and I have started implementing into our coffee routine that have been absolute game changers. And I feel like coffee is such an integral part of so many people's lives that this is something that hopefully will be of use or value to those of you watching or listening. I want to preface by saying we went through a period of about 3 months where we just weren't doing coffee in the morning. Now, I was still doing my cold brew, and here I sit. I love my cold brew. Can't live without it. But we had just stopped the morning coffee. And I will say, mornings were not nearly as much fun or relaxing. But the reason that we stopped, Zane has got pretty significant GERD or acid reflux. And the coffee was very obviously exacerbating his acid reflux. And I started noticing that I had just some, not pain, but a little bit of burning after drinking my second cup. Just a few days a week I was having that. So we just decided, hey, we're just going to stop, and I would make a cold brew and he would drink a Slate coffee, the protein coffee that you can purchase in stores. It's great, but it's not like, brewed coffee. But we started digging deep into how we could circle back and enjoy coffee, which means so much to both of us and to our daily routine, without the negative effects. So we have absolutely found the solution for us, and I think it's going to be very interesting to the rest of you. So I'm just going to start with the most important thing, and that is the right coffee. Okay, and I'm going to tell you all at the outset that if this conversation is intriguing or interesting to you, I'm going to link in the show notes to a podcast that I did maybe almost a year ago with Dr. Charles Livingston. He is the founder of, in my opinion, the best coffee in the world. And he tells the story behind his coffee, which is Life Boost, which is what I'm going to share with you today. He is in the medical profession. He is extremely fit, and he's passionate about coffee, so passionate that he started Life Boost, which has made ripples all across the world. And I met him and got him on my podcast. I met him through Zane. He is a very successful entrepreneur, and someone connected him with Zane. Zane's an investment banker. So anyway, he gave Zane some of the Life Boost coffee, and oh my goodness, we were blown away. But life happened, and it's mail order coffee, and I just sort of let things fall by the wayside and got back into our routine, thus the situation that led us to stop. And then we were on a walk, I think, one Saturday, and I said, Zane, I'm missing coffee, and I think we need to start getting serious about it, and we're going to get Life Boost. We're going to do it right, and we're just going to do it for a few weeks or a month or so and see if it makes a difference. So we ordered more Life Boost. Now, this is Life Boost for those of you watching. It is an online coffee, a place to get coffee, and you can subscribe. We subscribe, and we get the beans. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to go into all the detail because you can listen to the podcast that I did with Dr. Livingston, but there is no coffee producer that has higher standards than Life Boost. It is single sourced. It's grown high in the mountains of Central America. There is zero pesticide or anything that would adversely affect your body. So we ordered the Life Boost, and I love the medium roast. And let me tell you about this particular one. Well, actually, this applies to all of his coffee, Dr. Livingston's. It's non-GMO and it's pure, and they are known for the low acidity. I will tell you, the only way I can describe it is if I had a cup of coffee the way I was making it, just store-bought grocery coffee, versus a cup that I brew with Life Boost. Zane describes it as the difference. He said it's smooth as silk, whereas the other coffee, it just is a little bit bitter, and you really have to just add a lot of stuff to it to make it taste great. But the feel of this Life Boost, it physically feels just almost silky. So that's the low acidity, okay? The acid is inflammatory. It just aggravates, whether it's the lining of your throat or your stomach. This does not do that. So the first step to the best coffee of your life is going to be the right coffee. Life Boost is our choice. And I will tell you something that I resisted because it's just something else to have to do, but I am now happy to do it because it makes such a difference. And many of you probably already do this and know how much better it makes your coffee. I grind beans myself. I found that with me, I didn't want to fool with it because I did not have a place to put my grinder. I didn't want it out. I didn't want it to be on display. I like to keep my kitchen clean and white and bright. And here's my coffee maker. I got it from Williams-Sonoma. And what I did that made it just super easy is I put this in the laundry room. I made a station where I put big appliances. I'm sorry, they're small appliances, but they're too big to leave on the counter in here. I have my Pearl Nugget ice maker. Then I have this coffee grinder. And then I'm just going to show you while I'm on the subject of equipment. This is my cold brew maker. Here's the carafe that it drips into. All of these three things, the grinder, the cold brew, and Pearl ice maker, they're in one place. And here are the beans. I keep the whole beans in this glass container right there with a scoop. So I don't have to go in there every day because I will grind coffee. And as you see, I did this morning, and this will take us maybe through after tomorrow. So the equipment is out of sight. You go find it when you need it. You're not cluttering up your kitchen. So you can grind your own beans easily. Just find a space in your house that you don't mind it sitting out, but that it's easily accessible. So I grind my beans, and then we have our coffee station here in the kitchen, and it's behind. I'll put a picture in the show notes. All of this will be in the show notes. But the coffee station has pocket doors, and it has my Breville Nespresso Creatista, and then my automatic drip. And guys, I know there are purists who like pour over, who like French press. I've done French press. I defer to my automatic drip. It's easy and it's great. So that is where I make the coffee in the morning. And I'm going to tell you a few things that we have started adding to our already low acid, non-GMO coffee that we really like. And two of these things we get from Life Boost. And Dr. Livingston told me that these were in the works when he was on my podcast. And now you can get them. And the first one is Mito Creamer. And it fuels and protects your cell's metabolic engine. And it says that what it does, it assists appetite management, promotes healthy serotonin levels, hair, skin, nail, joint, digestive support, supports sustained energy, and it contains antioxidant superfood. Now, the ingredients are bovine collagen grass-fed, nippy wild granular, marine collagen, eggshell membrane, so forth, so on, collagen free range. So there are a lot of things here that you're not going to just be able to go to the grocery store and buy. And it is gluten-free, grass-fed, low-carb, keto, GMO, and dairy-free. I'm going to tell you, okay, this packet, I believe, has 14 servings. And you put 1 scoop in your coffee, tea, or smoothie, and you use a frother or blender to mix. And that helps to emulsify the quality fat, giving a smoother, frothier cup. I'm going to, in full disclosure, tell you that the first time I used this, and here's what it looks like. It's just a whitish powder, and here's the scoop, just like that. I just stirred it, didn't follow the directions, and I did not like it. I was like, I'm not sure about this. So then I said, okay, I'm going to do this right. So superfood latte recipe, you'd use 1 scoop of Mito creamer, then 8 ounces of coffee, and then Dr. Charles puts 1 to 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. I use a superfood creamer, but this is his recipe, and you blend it for 15 seconds. Now, I have not blended it, but I have put the creamer and my coffee in the little metal cup that comes with my Nespresso Creatista, and I put it under the milk frother. So it blends it all up, but I do have a handheld frother on the way. I also could put it in my Ninja smoothie maker, but it has to be blended properly. And I will tell you, I've been doing that for the last several days. It is fabulous. It's creamy, it's frothy, and you just add your regular flavorings, and now for some reason I'm addicted. So, and Zane did he's tried it this morning, he liked it. So we're gonna be buying this on repeat. So this is a way to get some nutrients and get a good frothy, rich cup of coffee. Now, I do not do Mito creamer with cold brew. This is something that I only do with the hot coffee where it will emulsify. I do it in the morning coffee before we work out. Okay, these are also something that we get from Life Boost. Everlow coffee drops. They are a mineral supplement, and they are designed to replace the minerals that coffee tends to deplete your body of. And you can add 6 to 8 drops, which here's the dropper. I usually do a dropper full. You can add it to 12-ounce cup of coffee, tea, sports drink, or water. And the supplement contains, per serving, magnesium, chloride, sodium, and potassium. So I've been putting this in my cold brew, and I drink 2 or 3 cold brew a day, and I put it in 1 or 2. Can't taste it, but I just feel better about my coffee when that's in there. So both of these additives are from Life Boost, where I get my coffee. So I order these 3 things from Life Boost, and I'll put a link to them. And the coffee that I get is medium roast bean, but they have every flavor, every configuration of coffee that you can imagine. We do also buy some decaf medium roast, because I like to have my afternoon cold brew from decaf, that I make in my cold brew coffee maker. Okay, so that is how we have been taking our coffee. In the morning, hot with the Mito creamer, and then Zane doesn't do cold brew, but I do. And I'm just going to tell you how I do my cold brew. I put my cold brew and my creamer and my ice and any supplements that I might put, everything that's going to be in the coffee, I put it in there, and I have these glass. I've got this design. I think this is Gottinger. And then I have another one. It's the same amount of coffee. It'll hold the same amount, but it's shaped differently. And both of these have lids, and I shake, shake, shake. So I have a shaken cold brew iced coffee, and that blends everything. And when I tell you it's so good, and I want to show you the sweetener that I'm absolutely loving. Whole earth, stevia leaf, and monk fruit with agave nectar. Okay, so it's 0 calorie, no preservatives, no artificial anything. And I know you've seen at Costco, at Publix, many places, the package, it's like got the granulated version or the sugary looking version of Whole Earth. I like the liquid to squirt into my coffee. The only place I have found this is on Amazon, and I will link to it. I order the 6-packet because I carry 1 or 2 in the car with me to sweeten tea if I go through the drive-through. And then I like to have 1 in the basement near the coffee station down there, and then 2 or 3 up here because I'm always losing it. So I just always want to have enough around. So I get the 6-pack, and a little bit goes a long way, but this is a good way to get a no-calorie sweet flavor. They do have, I believe, these in like caramel and vanilla flavor, but I use coffee syrups. I use no sugar coffee syrups. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm probably not making the best choices there because I think I use Jordan Skinny syrup and Tonin and then Monin, and anyway, y'all have seen it everywhere. I think those are artificial sweetener that is really not optimal. But that's just what I do. And I also love the Starbucks caramel macchiato sugar-free. So I'm not all, totally healthy in what I put in my coffee, but I feel like the bulk of what I do is on the healthier side. So anyway, so that is how we do our coffee. We had guests. We had Zane's childhood best friend and his wife from Dallas. They stayed with us. And when I tell you, we said nothing. We just had the coffee made. They went and got their coffee. And she first said, "Where did you get this coffee? I've never tasted coffee like this." And then her husband, Greer, he said, "This is so smooth." So they were writing down the link to all of Life Boost. And so that confirmed that we're not the only ones who think that it's so great. So if you really want to change your coffee game, I would just recommend giving this low acid, super healthy Life Boost a try. They have an app. They are running specials all the time. But anyway, I would give it a try. And then I would recommend, if you're not grinding your own beans, give this or any grinder a try. Look, all you do, guys, you take the lid off, you pour your beans in, put the lid on, and press start. And it just feeds. It's just like, it's the small version of when you're in the grocery store and you pour the beans in and it does the work. And when I tell you, the smell, it smells like you're in Starbucks. So it's worth it. And you only have to grind once, maybe twice a week, depending upon how much coffee you use. And then I recommend putting your coffee beans and your grinds in lovely containers. I think that makes the process more enjoyable. This is a very simple container where I keep the beans, and then the scoop is usually in there. I think I left it out on the counter, and it is airtight. So everything's right there, but everything's pretty. I don't have to open a package and dig down in like an opened coffee package. Everything is just on display, and it just makes the process more aesthetically pleasing and more fun. And then I recommend, let me tell you all one more thing that we put in our coffee in the morning. In addition to the Mito creamer, we both put creatine and benefiber. Now, the creatine, we do that. Our daughter and son-in-law, they're CrossFit aficionados, and she's a nutrition coach. They both highly recommend creatine, and Zane and I do pretty rigorous workouts about 3 days a week, and they said that this would be very helpful to us, so that's why we take it. But we put 5 grams of creatine in our coffee. It just dissolves. And then this is benefiber. You can also get Metamucil. This is a fiber that is a prebiotic. And I was reading in the Gut Health MD that you need a prebiotic for your probiotic to work. So every morning we do benefiber. Metamucil's great too. It totally dissolves. You cannot taste it, but you're getting that good, this is, I believe, cholesterol lowering. So toss that in your coffee and just make your coffee a healthy start to your day. I will link to all of this, and I will also share my ratios for how I make my cold brew, all of the equipment, and I'm going to try to get Dr. Charles to jump back on and share just what's going on since we last spoke, because they have really upped their game, and they are growing and expanding, and there's just a lot of excitement around Life Boost. You can also follow them on Instagram, and I'll link to that as well. Okay, guys, I hope that you find this helpful, and until next time, you have a fabulous rest of your day. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the SavvyCast. If you'll take the time to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, that would mean so much. As always, thank you for listening, and have a blessed day.